Imagine a maze so vast, so intricate, that once you entered, you might never find your way out. This wasn't just any puzzle. It was the Labyrinth, a structure born from myth and legend, designed to hold a creature of nightmares. Welcome to TyV's Media, and today, we are journeying back to ancient Crete to uncover the dark and twisted tale of the Labyrinth. Our story begins not with bricks and mortar, but with a king, a curse, and a terrible secret. King Minos of Crete was a powerful ruler, but his pride angered the gods. Poseidon, god of the sea, had gifted Minos a magnificent white bull, with the expectation that Minos would sacrifice it in his honor. But Minos, captivated by the bull's beauty, decided to keep it and sacrificed a lesser animal instead. Poseidon's revenge was swift and cruel. He cursed Minos' wife, Queen Pasiphae, with an unnatural desire for the white bull. The result of this cursed union was a monstrous offspring, a creature with the body of a man and the head of a bull. They called him the Minotaur. Ashamed and horrified, King Minos needed a way to hide this creature from the world. He summoned the most brilliant architect and inventor of the age, a man named Daedalus, along with his son, Icarus. Minos commanded Daedalus to design and build a prison from which no one, not even its monstrous inhabitant, could ever escape. And so, Daedalus began his masterwork. The Labyrinth wasn't just a series of winding walls. It was an architectural marvel of confusion. It was a complex network of corridors that turned back on themselves, dead ends that looked like passages, and paths that seemed to lead somewhere but only led deeper into the maze. Daedalus designed it with such cunning that, upon its completion, he himself could barely find his way out. The Minotaur was cast into its center, and the entrance was sealed. The monster was imprisoned, but its hunger would soon demand a terrible price. But the Labyrinth wasn't just a prison, it became an instrument of terror and control. Sometime earlier, King Minos' son had been killed in Athens. Enraged, Minos waged war and conquered the city. As a punishment, he demanded a gruesome tribute. Every 9 years, Athens had to send 7 of its finest young men and 7 of its bravest young women to Crete. These 14 unfortunate souls were then thrown into the Labyrinth, not to find a way out, but to be devoured by the Minotaur. Twice, the tribute was paid. Twice, 14 Athenian families mourned their lost children, sacrificed to a monster in a faraway land. The city of Athens lived under a shadow of fear and grief. As the third tribute approached, a hero decided that enough was enough. This hero was Theseus, the son of the Athenian king. He was young, strong, and determined to end the cycle of death. He volunteered to be one of the 7 young men sent to Crete, vowing to his father and his people that he would slay the Minotaur and return victorious. When Theseus and the other tributes arrived in Crete, his bravery caught the eye of someone unexpected, Ariadne, the daughter of King Minos himself. She was horrified by her father's cruelty and fell in love with the handsome Athenian prince. She couldn't bear the thought of him being lost to the monster in the maze. So, Ariadne decided to defy her own father to help him. She secretly met with Theseus the night before he was to enter the Labyrinth. She knew that even if he managed to defeat the Minotaur, he would never find his way out of the maze's bewildering paths. So, she gave him 2 crucial items, gifts from the Labyrinth's own creator, Daedalus. The first was a sword to fight the beast. The second was simple, yet ingenious, a ball of thread. Ariadne's instructions were clear. Theseus was to tie one end of the thread to the entrance of the Labyrinth. As he ventured deeper into the maze, he was to unwind the ball, letting the thread trail behind him. This simple line would be his only guide, his only hope of finding his way back. With the sword hidden and the ball of thread in hand, Theseus led the other tributes into the dark, foreboding entrance of the Labyrinth. The air grew cold, and the only sounds were their own footsteps echoing off the high stone walls. Deeper and deeper he went, following the winding corridors, his thread unspooling behind him, a fragile lifeline in the suffocating darkness. Finally, he reached the heart of the maze. There, in the central chamber, was the Minotaur. The creature was a fearsome sight, larger and more powerful than any man. It roared, the sound shaking the very foundations of the Labyrinth, and charged at Theseus. A desperate battle began. The Minotaur fought with brute strength, its horns goring the air. Theseus fought with skill and agility, dodging the monster's attacks and looking for an opening. The clash of sword against beast echoed through the maze. Finally, using his strength and the sword Ariadne had given him, Theseus struck a final, fatal blow. The Minotaur, the terror of Crete, fell silent forever. But the ordeal wasn't over. The battle was won, but the Labyrinth still held them captive. Now, the genius of Ariadne's plan became clear. Theseus simply turned and began to follow the thread he had left. Winding it back into a ball, he retraced his steps through the bewildering maze, leading the other 13 Athenians with him. They followed the path out of the darkness and back into the light of day. They had done the impossible. They had survived. Theseus, along with Ariadne and the other Athenians, quickly boarded his ship and set sail for home, escaping before King Minos could discover what had happened. Their journey back, however, is another story, filled with its own triumphs and tragedies. As for Daedalus, the creator of the Labyrinth, King Minos was furious that his prison had been breached. He imprisoned Daedalus and his son, Icarus, within their own creation. But Daedalus, ever the inventor, fashioned wings of feathers and wax for himself and his son, leading to the famous and tragic flight of Icarus. Today, the Labyrinth exists as one of the most powerful stories from Greek mythology. It's a tale of hubris, curses, monstrous results, and heroic sacrifice. It reminds us of the battle between our civilized selves and our inner beasts. The Palace of Knossos in Crete, which some archaeologists believe inspire the legend, is a maze-like structure of its own, hinting at the real-world roots of this incredible myth. The Labyrinth wasn't just a building, it was a symbol of an inescapable fate. Yet, through courage, love, and a bit of ingenuity, Theseus proved that even the most terrifying mazes can be navigated, and the most fearsome monsters can be defeated. What do you think is the most fascinating part of the Labyrinth story? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the heart of the myth. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Tyv's Media for more legendary stories. We'll see you in the next one.